Welcome to the VOLTHA TST meeting, December 10th. So I have put a few points. Mainly, we'll start discussing on the release planning. How do we plan the release? First up, Jan, you want to give one status on the?
Sure, I can give an update on the work of BSDN. Can I share? Then I can go again through the slides.
Sure. I'll stop my share. Yep.
Perfect. Does that work?
Yes.
Cool. So we start with this one, milestone 1.4. I brought Jochen with me today, and probably since he's working on the OLT side, maybe he can quickly give an update for you on the status of the 3 OLTs.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a work in progress in all of them. And the Radisys one, we have a OLT agent version in the OLT. Radisys gave us a new one that still has some quirks. They have checked the logs, and we have a session scheduled for this Thursday to live debug it and see if we can fix that and close it and then move on to the other things in the pipelines. Atran, we also got the updated version. There is still something that is not yet right, looks like a config issue, and they have provided some feedback just today, and we need to test that. And finally, from Sitecell, we got an answer from them. They gave us a bunch of source code that was not complete and some patches and so on, and we have asked them to provide a binary. So we are in the same boat with OLTs, and we know that the binary running in each of the OLTs is something that the vendor has tested, at least has been delivered by the vendor. That is something under the control.
Cool, thank you. Then moving on to milestone 1.5. So that's something where all of the tasks that we needed to do while revising the lab infrastructure are basically aggregated in terms of replacing parts, installing new stuff, integrating new stuff. So here you see like the EdgeCore OLT replaced with the Radisys one. We replaced the broken aggregation switch. We switched some ONUs because some of them seem to be non-functional. And then a lot of network cables, fibers, and console connections were replaced. And we tested all of those and verified that all the connections themselves are working. So that's something that we consider done from our side. So the thing left here would be to review the current status with the stakeholders, which I think can do this Thursday when we do the lab tour for part of the TST members to look at all of the new infrastructure and go through the documentation. Milestone 1.6 is basically about the whole documentation, the bill of material for the lab, the network diagrams, the deployment designs, and all those things. So part of that is documented in Netbox, obviously, and that's the one that is publicly accessible. Whoever needs additional credentials, we can create additional credentials, but that's something, again, to be decided by the TST who gets access to what. In addition to the stuff that we have in Netbox there's obviously topology diagrams in the wiki, and there is additional diagrams and things alike more focused on certain internal designs here. Also software versions and stuff like that in the lab guide that was sent out last week to the TST members that will also participate in the lab tour that we'll do this Thursday. So that's also something that we consider done. The documentation still has to be reviewed, so I asked everybody to review that and give me feedback. So please, if you have any, just let me know, send me an email, tell me today. I would love to add whatever is needed there to fix that so that we can close this Thursday. Well, last but not least, milestone 2, and that's about the whole startup, shutdown, recovery processes and all those things. We also consider this completed. We handed over all of the different Ansible playbooks, including the documentation for those, as well as the scripting and stuff, together with the PDF guide and the documentation that is in the wiki. And that will also be concluded this Thursday with a lab tour where you can ask questions, or all the people that have been selected by Mahir for this tour are free to ask questions and go more into detail. This will not be a publicly recorded meeting, sadly, but there is like sensitive information here that we do not necessarily want to share in this public meeting. There's 2 open milestones, obviously, all of the milestones around milestone 3, so 3.1 and 3.2, which are about the pipelines. Jochen is still working on that with the team, and we'll keep you updated in the following weeks about the status. But as you heard before, for milestone 1.4, we're still debugging some issues with the different OLT vendors, so that as soon as those are stable, we can then look into other issues that might arise from misconfiguration or whatever, to finally get all of the workflows to run. Are there any questions here? Cool. Then that's everything from my side.
Yeah, thanks, Kian. So on the pipelines, right? So I will check with Jochen tomorrow. I'll set up a call Thursday, and we will check. Most probably it's not an OLT issue, and the agent issue most probably something got to do with the networking. The DHCP is not successful whenever. So I'll check. We'll have to check online and see, trace the packets and see where they're getting dropped. Okay, and okay, next is like to give permissions for the release version on the Jira. Eric, is there a ticket for this? I think so. There was Maher had raised one, I guess.
I don't have one for that right now.
Okay, let
if
me
that
check.
came in, how long ago was that added? Because I think that might have already come in and I did it, or maybe not.
Hello, this is Mahir. Yeah, I haven't opened the ticket actually.
Okay.
But this is, yes, this
Sorry, I get a
came
lot of
like,
tickets for Jira permissions.
okay, we talked on that 2 or 3 TST meetings, you know, before. So, do you know or remember the situation or not, Eric? Do you know what this is for?
No,
Okay,
I don't
yeah, I
recall
remember there
discussing
was.
it before, but no, I understand the process of releasing versions on Jira.
Yes, yes. The VOLTHA 2.12, which was released a year ago, is still not released on Jira. So this to be released, but we don't have the permission for that. So either you can release it, or you can give permission to us TST members to release a version in Jira.
Okay, yeah, if you can
But by the
just
way,
open a support ticket
yeah,
for that.
yeah, I'll open it. That's for that. By the way, what about moving to the new Jira? So I know you did
Yeah,
something.
so right now I'm just waiting for them to get back to me on a license. For like we generally get in an open source license so that we can run a fairly sizable Jira or Confluence without any charge. And we've requested a bunch of these and they generally come through pretty quickly, but they just have not gotten back to me. I've done it twice. I think I need to just open a direct support ticket and poke at them to get that complete. But yeah, I would still like to move that to the Atlassian cloud.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So next is on the VGC test suite. I have shared, I've created a ticket and shared the details to Eric. So Eric, let me know if you have any questions. We can sync up and get the test suits running.
Sure. And thank you for answering the questions I had yesterday.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. And next is on the release planning. So the test jobs. I have resolved one, but there seems to be a few more failures. But I think so they were existing already from long back, and a few test cases, like the code doesn't handle those scenarios, the test cases which were written. I think so we'll have to edit some test cases there, because the sort of tests are being done, it's not handled or cannot be handled by the Volta alone. So I am looking into those, and there will be a few modifications on the test cases. So yeah. And next is on the patch sets. So we have raised quite a bit of patches which needs to be merged, and I have merged a few where Maher and Sarkant have reviewed as well. So these are the ones which have to go in for 2.13 release, and there are quite a few which have to go in, but they're not a must. But these at least are a must from Redis's DT side, which have to go in. So please have a look, give your comments, reviews, thumbs up, then we'll follow up and get. Okay. Sarkant, there is one on the ONU adapter memory consumption. I think so. One of your teams, Zafar, had provided some comments. So we have replied them back. Can you please check if he has further comments? Because he said there are some test cases which are failing, but if you can provide the test cases, then we can test it out and check them.
Okay, Ablash, I'll ping Zafer for this.
Yeah, thank you. And code freeze date. Any suggestions for the code freeze rate? But before that, I think so we should work backwards. Then probably we have to check how long does it take for the release to happen. So probably the question would be to Eric. Eric, and I know you're doing it for the first time for the Volta release, but just that we would need, or we should at least come to a point where we know how long does it take for a release to make it happen. Or anyone?
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, how long has it historically taken?
Yeah. Basically, all we do a code freeze, and any issues which we face in the pipelines, we fix them, and then all of these branches which we use, we tag them. And later, probably Mahir, correct me. I'm not sure
Yeah.
later what.
Yeah, it's
will be done.
sometimes takes a few days and sometimes a few weeks, as you said. It depends on how many tests are failing or if there are tests failing or not. But on the other hand, the other issue with the release, the time-taking thing was the ONOS itself, the ONOS components, building them, waiting for them to be published to the some registries, I don't know, Docker registries, then downloading from them, etc. That was taking a lot of time. I remember some components was taking more than 8 hours to be released and published, etc. So, but this time, I guess we don't need to build and release ONOS again because we did no change to the ONOS since the last Volta release. So we can just tag it or use the previously tagged version. So my suggestion is not to touch ONOS, do only the Volta components released. So this help us to finish it shortly, in a short time. But still, as Abhilash, you said, there are failing pipelines. We need to fix them before the release. But after they are fixed, I think it will be a few days. It will take a few days, a week, probably. So my
Okay.
suggestion is, still keep the date we proposed in the previous meeting, the end of this week for the code freeze. That means that the patches that you listed, Abhilash, needs to be go in by Friday this week. And then we can start working on the pipelines, test pipes, and fix them. And until the end of the year, end of the month, we can release.
Okay, so I would say 13. Yes.
If we can, can fix the pipelines this week during this patch reviews. I think that will be great so that we can, release Volta next week. So nobody will, need to work at the vacation time, etc. I think some people have vacation the week after.
Yeah. Yes.
So I need to ask Eric here, what's the responsibility and what's the process we need to take, Do we need to open a task from the Jira, Linux Jira, and that's all? And you will, Linux teams will check the documentation, Volta documentation, and take the process there? Or, do you guys have your own release process and apply it to Volta?
No, we don't have our own. So yes, open a ticket and I can look at, all the documentation that Joey left. He wrote down quite a bit of stuff, so hopefully there's some details there, but also I have done, plenty of releases for other projects, so I'm sure it's nothing I'm unfamiliar with.
Okay, great then.
Okay, so
So Abhilash, are you going to open the ticket or one of us? Who will be responsible to open the ticket for to Eric?
sure, I'll open.
Okay, thank you.
And for this, I would Again, like each one of us would should have to take responsibility. So for the test pipelines, I can take. Okay. Anyone for the documentation?
The all TST, other TST members to review the patches.
Yeah.
You open the task for release and Eric to release Volta according to Volta documentation. And if you're all okay, we can add an item here to not to touch ONOS, use it as is with the previous version.
I agree with that because anyway, it's a I know the pain in building and raising all this. Same version, but with the new tag, right? Because it should be tagged.
I mean, we can take it, but if it also takes, a lot of time or effort, we can skip tagging also. We can just point out that the Volta uses the same X, Y, Z, whatever release ONOS have.
Yeah. And on the documentation and the release notes, anyone?
Okay, I can take it.
Okay.
I mean, the documentation is there already. The Volta, release how to release the Volta, documentation about releasing Volta. But the release notes, yeah, I can take it and add it to the docs. Volta docs.
Yeah. Anything else we would need?
I don't have anything else in my mind.
Okay. So we'll decide the release date in the next TST? Or
Release that. I mean, in the previous meeting, we decided to do it by this 27th, I guess. So we can still keep this, but let's decide that the Netflix TST. Let's see our progress on the patches and the tests, the pipelines. Then we can decide. If everything goes smooth and well, then we can release it earlier, I guess, as I said, that let people to, do their vacations without any pain left anything.
Yeah, that's what
behind.
The last week is. Eric, you have any vacation plans last week of December?
Yes, I'm going to be gone. Let's see. Basically, the last 2 weeks of December, from the 23rd of December until January 3rd.
Okay, this means that we need to do until the 23rd or leave it after the January 1st.
Yes. So shall I give it a date of 20th December for now?
Yes.
We'll see how things go. Because we'll start the process
Yes.
at least. If things go well, then it's good if we can get it in by 20th December.
Yeah, makes sense.
And put a new tab instead. Right. Think so. Yeah. Anything to be discussed? Floor is open.
Yeah, real quick. For this meeting, for the rest of December, what dates did you want to keep? Are folks still going to be around during the holidays? Do you want to keep the meetings on the 24th and the 31st, or cancel one or both of those as if folks are going to be busy doing holiday stuff?
I propose to cancel both of them. So if Eric will not be here and we will not be working on the release, then I think it's better to cancel both of them.
But there is a meeting next week, no? Like the 17th?
Yes. So
Yes.
that one I would say keep, right? But I'm just talking about the last two of the year that happen to fall really close to the holidays.
Should be fine.
Okay, so next week stays the week of December 24th and December 31st. I will cancel those.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Okay. If nothing else, then we can close. Giving you all back half an hour. Okay. Thank you all. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Ablash.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.